we've got that have been waiting. I'm going to hit the Amazon and get us going here in 3, 2, 1. Uh-oh. And then it stopped going live. It was working on Amazon, and then it decided not to work on Amazon. You got to be kidding. Oh boy. Isn't that how it works? So it says streaming. I'm going to let this thing stay over here in the corner. We're going to check back in with it. This is John the Net Guy. If you're just tuning in, this is show. I'm going to call them by the year. I think this is 402. So I'm going to do the year and then the number of the show. So this is year 4. So I'm going to call this show 402. It is tech for your home, power, and auto. I've got some really cool stuff today. If you have one of these, whether it's Android or iPhone, today is going to be an absolute hoot. I am so excited about this. I have a product today that just knocking my socks off. It has been awesome. So I'm going to go in here and just double check and make sure that we can get the Android, oh, sorry, not the Android, the Amazon people in. It always seems to be the hardest part of the show, but hopefully that'll work. I do see some YouTube people. I see Jonathan Talks Hardware, by the way. Nice win, Jonathan. I saw that you had some swag there recently. Got another viewer on the YouTube, Randy, common person here in this area. Seeing you on here. Great to have you here again. I'm going to go real quick and do a couple just housekeeping things before we get going. And then I promise we got a great show. I've got 11 products. If you're wondering about what those products are, you can cheat and you can go ahead and click that link down there, amazon.com/shop/the net guy. The very first item on there is actually going to show you what we've got. It has been super cold up here in the Northwest, and I am trying right now to get everything dialed in. This studio gets very hot while I'm doing the show. I do see another creator in the chat here, Vincent. Awesome. Nice to see you, my friend. So I want to make sure my AC is running. I am going to give Amazon one more chance here. We're going to do that, and then we may have to move on. Sorry, Amazon. Got to make this work. And I'm going to do one other little thing just to see if it is them or me, right? I'm going to restart their stream only, and I'm going to log into the Amazon app. Let me know how cold it is where you're at. It is like 16 degrees here. I don't know if you guys watched Joel Telling, the 3D printing nerd. I just saw him on Twitter right before I went live here, and he had something from his car showing it was 16 degrees. That's the lowest I've seen here. It's supposed to get down to about 10 tonight. I should be showing off products to help wrap pipes and do cool things like that because it is super, super cold. Just getting dialed in here to the Amazon side so I can fire the stream up for our Amazon folks that are waiting. They don't do a ton on here, but I like to make sure I do that just so that the Amazon folks get included and I'm seen on the Amazon product pages. So that's how that works. Oh boy, this has taken its time today. There we go, preview. Waiting for video stream data. I should have hit go live right when it lit up the first time because that was probably my chance. We'll leave this off to the side here. Hopefully it decides to come along with us, and I'm just going to get going. We're going to get going on the show tonight. Like I said, if you want to check me out and see all the items that are going to be on the show, let me show you how you do that. You visit the URL that's scrolling along the bottom. Looks an awful lot like this when you get there. This is the show that's live, but go ahead and look for Tech Day 402. Power, home, and auto. These are the products that I got today to show you. Lots of really cool stuff. They won't necessarily be in that order. I just want to tell you that right now. I did not sort them specifically to be in this order, so they may or may not be specifically in this order right now. First item up, speaking of that, is actually going to be these food containers, and I just wanted to show you guys this because after the holiday, I'm telling you, I had so many leftovers that storage has been an issue. And actually in our specifically, give me 1 second here. I just realized I have the wrong camera. There we go. Okay, I want to be on this camera up here in the corner. So yeah, after the holidays, we had a ton of food that was going to go to waste, and our fridge was absolutely jam-packed full. So I could not fit another thing in sideways in that fridge. And it made me think about this. I was watching a very famous food personality on YouTube. I was watching, just kind of binge watching over the holiday. and he made a really good case for these specific food containers. So I'm going to bring you back here. I've got a selection of them. I actually don't have all of them here, but I do have a representative sample, I'm going to say. So these things come in bulk, and let me get on the top down here so you guys can see them. And this is what you're getting. You're getting 32-ounce containers, 16-ounce containers, and 8-ounce containers. Well, why is that important? Well, they all share the exact same lids. So how many times have you opened up your Tupperware drawer and you can't find the lid that goes with that Tupperware from that era? You've got glass mixed with plastic, mixed with stuff that's probably got different colors that it shouldn't be. So the neat thing that he was saying is that these food grade containers, if you look at any true chef or any restaurateur, you go into their fridge at home for leftovers and they have these. This is what you normally would get soups and other things to go usually in. And these things were a game changer for us. I want to bring you and show you what I did. I put a little video montage together to try to show you a little bit more about this, because I don't have a kitchen down here and I didn't have enough food. But I actually took our kitchen and I went through the process here, and I'm going to fire it right up for you so you guys can see it. I went through the process myself of cleaning out our fridge. So this is the unboxing. This is actually what they look like when you're purchasing them. So they look just like this. And you're going to get 20 of each size and then 60 individual lids. And I believe they're $24 right now on Amazon, which is awesome. This is our fridge at home. Lots of dents in it because we have lots of kids. But you can see we were getting just completely packed in there. And so I started moving things out and I said, how much room am I going to gain in this completely full fridge when I start taking the things out of it? So I thought that would be really cool. Jonathan says, he's had that problem before, finding the matching top. It's kind of like a game, you know? So I went through and I started dumping things out and transferring them into the new containers. And I got a ton of extra space. You can see it start to fall out. That was all the old containers that I was able to transfer from. And because I could pick the right size, I didn't have to go with, one very large bowl, which bowls do not take up the right amount of space. This is how I store them afterward compared to all that other Tupperware. So I compress down my storage in the kitchen as well. Jonathan Talks Hardware says Tetris for containers. And this is afterward, actually, how I made the containers go right to the microwave. So these containers, not only can you have them go from sorry, I clipped one thing out that I know I needed to keep. Not only can they go right in the fridge and stackable, which is another big thing, they can go directly into the microwave. So they're microwave safe. They're not BPA or all the other things that you don't want in your plastics. These are all of that free. So that's a good thing. So tons of opportunity there. And then I just made my biscuits and gravy leftover here. I thought I would show you guys that just to make people jealous. Biscuits and gravy are like my thing. That's my jam. So if you see me having breakfast somewhere, that's usually what I've ordered. And so you can go ahead and heat up your stuff right from there. And then I wish I had the final container picture because it is super duper compressed. So that was the neat thing about this is I went from probably 2.5, 3 shelves, and my editor's going to put this in here in the final video, to like half a shelf, maybe the back half of a shelf. And I had all the same amount of food. I didn't throw anything out. And so that's these food containers. Let's take a quick look here back on Amazon. Like I said, I shopped quite a bit for this because I was looking for something that had the different sizes. I think this is probably close to the perfect kit. If you bought all the 16-ounce size, you'd probably end up filling 2 a lot of times for soups and things. If you bought all of the 8-ounce, you wouldn't be happy because there's not enough of them in there. So that was a bad thing. So that said, I would recommend this kit over some of the other ones. Neat things about it, 4.7 stars from Kneebake here. And you can see the various sizes that you get there and the dimensions. So they're definitely stackable. The lids are very tight. If there's one complaint I would say, if anything, on this, is that the lids might actually be a little bit too hard to get off. So if you're somebody that has limited mobility in your hands, maybe elderly, that can be a little bit of troublesome. Now I'm learning how to do it faster, just spinning it around. But think of like a really good 5-gallon paint can, how you kind of fight it. That's a good thing. The other thing I didn't mention, this goes straight to the freezer as well. So it's not going to explode. It's not going to shatter if you drop it. My wife has dropped a couple things as they come out of the freezer and they hit the ground and the glass breaks and there goes your meal. This, if you drop it, it's going to bounce in most cases or crack, but it's not going to shatter and it's not going to hurt you. So that was another really cool thing about them here. Like I said, keep your food fresh longer. They are dishwasher safe, so you can definitely go straight from these right into the dishwasher, which is awesome. It's another cool thing about them. And again, hot, cold foods, you can microwave right in them. Very cool. So that is from the Knee Bake Company. That was our first product up. The next one is kind of a techie project here. I was gonna have a bunch of different things that need power, and I realized I've got different power cords that have been hanging and laying and doing stuff for a long time. So I was on the lookout for a product that would allow me to eliminate a little bit of this mess. Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna try one more time on the Amazon. I don't want those folks to miss out here because I'm about to get to the cool stuff here. So the next product that I have coming up is hidden because I put them all in order. The next product I have coming up is a desk power outlet strip with USB-A and USB-C. Let's get this on the top down here so you guys can see it. So that's what it looks like right there. I dare you to pronounce that. I don't know what that is. JGSTK, J-Stick City. I'm going to call it. It has a 30-watt USB. It has power delivery and quick charge 3.0. So you're covering that. It's got USB-C and A, so I can demo both of my devices, any different kind of device we have, plus 2 regular power outlets. Now, it's not waterproof, so don't spill something into it. And it definitely is indoor use only, which it says. But let's do a quick unbox here. Let me know if this is a product that would be interesting to you if you've got power issues in your desk, because I got some more power products coming up here. 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and turn Amazon back on, and hopefully they like that. Give them a little bit of a break. And here we go. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to bring it up close so you can see it. There's the 2 outlets. Now, there is no on-off switch. So this is designed to be either put directly on the surface of something or maybe mounted to the side. I've seen a lot of furniture that's coming side mounted already. And then it does have those 2 USB ports. And I do like the fact that they're not blue or anything. They're this orange color so you can see them. So you can kind of aim at them and figure out where you're plugging in. And USB-C is the bomb. So that's awesome. And then it's going to have, let's do the quick cord test here. I always like to do this. Okay, going back. It's going to be just at 6 feet of cord. Now, that's not going to make it all the way to where I want it, but I'm going to put a power UPS under the table anyway. So that's going to definitely reach that. Now, I'm going to install it right here. But to do that, we're going to have to do some fun stuff. Specifically, we're going to have to drill and cut. Now, I've pre-marked this, and I've actually got my cameras pre-ready if everything works right. So let's do this real quick. If everything works right, I'll be able to come over here and I'll be able to show you, and you'll see in both views what I'm doing right now. So I'm just taking a basic drill. And the reason I'm using a drill is you could use a jigsaw. You can use a oscillating tool. You can use whatever you want to cut this out. But what you want to do is definitely make sure that the corners are in the right spot, because you can always sand and grind and do whatever you need to do to get them right there. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. Why not the corner closer to the camera was a question that just came up. Very, very good question. And there's an actual reason for that, which is I need to plug things in. Usually on this side, that area is super congested with cables, Jonathan. That was a great question on this one. So I've actually decided I think this is going to be the best side to have it on. And I'm just going to go ahead and quickly drill here. Sorry if it gets noisy today. I can try to mute my mic if the oscillating tool is too loud. So I'm going to drill out the corners because I'm going to use an oscillator, and those are not the best for corners specifically. They're great for plunge cuts, but I just want to make something that roughly looks straight here. This table's not too bad. And I'm just going to show you the whole process here. We're going to speed this up, obviously, in the final edit. My editors are really good, but I'm going to do that. I might need one for my new dedicated filming table. Hey, I'm going to put that up here. Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, what a great idea. I'd love to see your new setup. I'm a kind of a studio junkie when it comes to making studios. This is probably my favorite tool of all tools, this oscillating tool. Let me see if it's plugged in. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and start to cut this. Let me know if it's too loud in the chat. Say too loud. So headphone warning here. I'm going to go ahead and start cutting this out. I'm going to do it maybe in a way that you guys can see it. So hopefully you can see close up here what I'm doing. Okay, so hopefully that wasn't too loud. You guys will have to let me know if I need to mute myself and throw some music on while we do this. But I just put a little line there, and I'm trying to make a continuous line that'll go all the way around. It's all good, just right. I'm using my PC soundbar, Jonathan says. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this other side. Okay, that is awesome. That works out great. Now everybody's going to go like, John, why aren't you using the tool straight up and down? Well, you know what? For small cuts like this, I can use this and actually walk it like a jigsaw. I think it works much, much better that way. So I'm going to continue to cut this out. Okay, I get halfway through it here, so hopefully you guys aren't getting too bored. Okay. Well, hopefully that's sharp enough. But you know what I didn't count on? Didn't count on if this thing would actually had a new blade or would get dull. So we'll see. Hopefully I can zip through this last little part. Sorry again for the noise, but I wanted to give you guys a good demo of this and how to install it. Okay. Now there's going to be a spot that's still holding it on. We're almost there. It was. There we go. So that is cut out now. It was that very original corner that I started in. So there we go. So now with that cut out, hopefully you guys can still hear me. I'm looking at my audio levels. They're still okay. Now we have some noise canceling. So what I can do, I can drop this cord through. And then if I've done my job right, which I did, have a nice looking little cutout. So there you go. I'm going to go back over to this camera here so you guys can see it. Hopefully you guys can see that. But actually that worked out really, really nice. I like the way that looks. Now, what I'm also going to do here, I don't know how I got that camera view up. Let's do this. Inside of here, there's a little tiny screw, which I wanted to show you, a set of screws. Not OSHA approved technique. Oh no, Randy, you got me. I was going to go out and grab those. I really was, but then I didn't. So yes, if you're going to do any sort of grinding, sanding, or anything, definitely wear safety glasses. That would be a good thing to have. I'm just looking real quick to see what I've got for screwdrivers. Got quite the selection usually, because these are tiny screws. And actually, the tiniest screwdriver that I wanted to use, I do not have handy with me. Let me see here. But luckily, the one I took off of here isn't so bad. So give me 1 second. So I'm actually going to take their screws. Now, normally you could pre-drill these holes. Because this is pretty soft wood, I'm hoping that it will take without pre-drilling. That was me. There's one, and I'm going to put the other one. And I will now have a working outlet that I can use for future shows. So thank you guys for watching on that. Perfect. You know what I can do? I can actually show you guys a close-up of it now. If everything's working, I can show you that on the iPhone here. Waterproof outlet covers if you have liquids on your table. You know, Jonathan, that's a great iFixit kit. That was awesome. Yeah, I got a lot of good friends here that are telling me everything I should have done. You guys are great. Where were you an hour ago? Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and switch this over, and we're going to bring up the iPhone, which is this one, so you can see how that install went. Now, I got a little tiny bit aggressive on the corner there, it looks like, but I've got my two outlets. They're flush mounted. You can hopefully see under here. I don't think it'll show up, but yeah, it's got the back side of it, and got my USB-C, and then I've got my Type A. So there we go. Hopefully you guys didn't get too sick off of that. So I'm very excited about that. Let's go on to Amazon, and I can show you guys where to get that product as well. So that one is right here. It's a recessed power outlet that we talked about. Is $29. There's a $4 coupon right now, so you can get this a little bit cheaper. This is roughly the price I've seen most of them in this range. I went through a lot of different options. There's clamp-on ones if you don't want to do any sort of cutting. I wanted something that was stable and permanent, so that's going to work out really good for me, because we're going to actually do a bunch of other product demos today, and I needed to have something that I can plug right into here on the surface. So I'm very excited about that. And then we're going to go over, take a quick look at some of the other stuff. There are no lights on it, which I actually think is a good thing, because it's not going to, keep you awake at night. You're not going to be seeing some sort of blinky light on here. There is the information about the charging. So it is 30 watts and 20 watts on other charger ports if you're using the USB-A. And that's how clean it can look. Like I said, it does have a 6-foot cable, so you may have to extend that some, but hopefully not too bad. There we go. So that is what we just finished installing. We're ready for the next product, which is completely different. So hold on as we switch over to that. It is right behind me here. And these guys sent this one out for a fair and honest review. And this is the Ice Mini Shaver. So who needs shaving more than a guy with a huge bald head like me? But this mini shaver, I tried it out earlier today. I have some footage of that we're going to splice in here, but it actually works really well. Now, would I use this as my primary go-to with the amount of volume that I have to shave? Probably not, if I was not keeping up on it all the time, and I'll tell you why. But for the right folks, this is a great option. So this is the warranty card right here. So this is from Use. And actually, from a gift perspective, if you're looking for something for a guy for Valentine's, maybe it's somebody who needs a first electric shaver, this is a really cool gift here. So let me show you what it looks like. It is kind of space age. It's hard because my cameras aren't going to pick it up, but it's translucent. And as you open it up, there's the two shaving heads, which is pretty cool. It's going to have a button and a bunch of other cool electronics, which we're going to get to in just a second. Inside the accessory kit, so they have that right here for you. There's a couple other things. Now, I've charged mine up and opened this up before, so it may not be exactly the same. It's probably packed even better. So you're going to have a USB-C charger, so great for camping. That's the other thing, is the weight on this thing is super duper light. It's going to have a cleaning brush, so you can clean anything out that's in there. And then lastly, and I was super happy about this, it has an extra set of cutting heads. So if you're starting to get dull, you don't have to go ahead and order another one just yet. You can actually go right to the original kit, and it's going to have an extra set of blades right there. So that's the accessory box, they call it, that comes with it. So let's talk about this and why it's different. It does have a magnetic closure on it. So I'm going to see if I can get you guys over here on the side camera. See if I can get my side camera angled right today. So there's the heads on it. What's neat about it is you turn it on, it is super, super quiet. You can see through to the circuitry on it. That's part of the design here. There's a little light on the bottom. You can actually see the batteries, the rechargeable batteries in here, and the charger is on the bottom. And this thing makes almost no noise. So I can give myself a little tune up here if I need to. Got that going. Okay. Wonder if I should do that on the top down. I've never tried this. Bring the old head out on the top down and no. It actually works very well. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and splice in the footage from earlier. Now, one of the things I read in the instructions, you got to be careful about with these, is them kicking on in your suitcase or your luggage. This thing is so light. It's lighter than the charger you'd probably bring for some other ones, honestly. But this thing's so small and light, if you hold down the button, it'll buzz twice and then it'll put itself into travel lock mode. So if it gets bumped or hit, it's not going to turn on. Then you have to tap it twice to turn it back on. So that's one aspect of it. So that's the Ice mini shaver here. It's only got 2 of these cutting blades. Now, if you're somebody that's going to be clean shaven most of the time in the face, this is actually not a bad thing to use. So, you could definitely do a tune up here if you had a full head of hair and maybe not a full beard, or if you're just doing some neck, doing around your cheeks or everything. That's where I started with it. It was perfect, and it definitely gets to cut in real nice and close, which I liked about that. If you're doing volume like I do, this would be good if you're doing a quick tune-up in between. But for doing a large amount, like a volume, if I've waited 3 or 4 days, I'm going to need one with 8 or 9 blades on it, like some of the other ones. So for what its purpose is, it's a great product. This would make a great gift. It is available also on Amazon. Let's go take a look at that real quick. Bring that up here. This is the Use shaver. So you guys can take a look and see there. It is $49 right now, but it does have a 25% coupon, which you can click on there. So that'll bring the price down $12.50, and I'll give you about $37.50 if you wanted that. So pretty good sale on there right now. Tells you all the stuff that I just told you here. Cyberpunk style internal visualization. I love that description. That's pretty cool. It is kind of neat. It is definitely a good looking shaver. It's definitely small enough to throw in your bag. And hey, guess what? With the USB-C, you're not carrying another unique charging cable. I can tell you, I have run into that situation where we're looking for our toothbrush cable for a while, or the water pick cable, because it's a unique special cable here. So USB charging, shave for 60 days, they're claiming, on a 1-hour charge. I haven't had the longevity test in here, but it definitely will do well with the lithium batteries that's going to have in it. And there you go, the blades and the 7,200 RPM motor. So I want to thank those guys for sending that out for a review. I think I'm going to use it, like I said, as a quick tune-up tool. It'd be great to do for cheeks or other stuff. And it would also make a great gift if you know somebody that needs to and does a lot of electric shaving. So that was from Use Company. I want to thank them for sending that out. Next item up is a very cool product that I just started to get used to today. It is from our friends over at Xsense. So who is Xsense? Well, Xsense is the company that does all of my home fire alarm system. They're branching out a little bit. They've got another interesting thing. This is their Xsense mailbox alarm with base station. So what does that mean? This will tell you when somebody has opened or closed your mailbox, if they're tampering with your mailbox. Now, tampering with might be the mailman. That could actually be an expected or a good thing. So it'll tell you when you get your mail delivered, which is something I find awesome, because I can't tell you how many times my wife's been waiting for something in the mail, and she has to, have one of our kids run out to the mailbox, and it's like 150 feet from our front door. Then they come back, and then they go back out, and then they come back. With this, you'll know right away when somebody legitimate is using it. You'll also know in your home up to 2,000 feet away if somebody is touching your mailbox that shouldn't. So let's go do a quick unbox. You'll see what's inside it. I'm just going to take a look at the chat real quick too. So this mailbox alarm, now I've unboxed all of these products because I had to set them up to do the show, but this is generally what you get. You're going to get a USB cable and a USB charging base for the base station. So that's the USB outlet. You're going to get a manual. Manual works pretty well here to cover all the setup instructions. There's an app that goes with this. This is called X-Sense Home Security on the app name. And then there's going to be two other pieces. There's actually going to be this sticky back tape, which is what's used to secure the mailbox sensor. Now, the sensor has a lot going on, so we'll talk about that. And then I'll show you a demo that I did earlier today of this one. So that's the X-Sense Smart Mailbox Alarm with base station. So what this has is an infrared detector here, so it can tell if there's light. It also has a gyroscopic sensor, so as it turns, it knows that something's happening, and then it has a test button on the back. It also has these 4 mounting areas because there's a separate mounting plate that's actually mounted already to my mailbox now. That was part of the installation. So I took this off to bring it down here to show you. But let's try out that new plug-in that I was talking about. So I've got this new plug over here that I can plug things into, and I'm going to go ahead and plug in the base station here. We're going to test this out. There we go. So the base station's firing up right now. I'm going to bring it a little closer for you guys. So that's the base station. It's going to connect to my Wi-Fi. Like I said, there is an app to go along with this. I'll bring the app up here so you guys can see it. This is the X-Sense app here. So you can see the base station right now says it's offline. If I refresh this, now it's online. Mailbox alarm triggered. So it's telling us that there's a trigger at 6:33, which is about a minute ago because I was moving this. But you can actually go through and you can see if you have a mail reminder, you can have it continuously make noise. So maybe there's an emergency exit door or something like that that you want to know when that's been utilized in your place of business or in your home. You can have this continuously alert you until it's been handled. Now, how do you handle an alert if that happens? Let's go back to the top down here. So we're going to try to kick one of these off. So I have it set up. Now, they take 2 minutes here. So when this opens like this, and then it closes, I'm going to cover up the infrared sensor. It's going to have a 2-minute delay. Now, when you can see here on the iPhone that it's saying you've got actually, you can't because it's not close enough. So here on the iPhone, you can see it says you have a new letter. Now, wherever you're at, this is going to work over the internet. As soon as somebody opens your door to your mailbox and then closes it again, that's going to set this off. Now, I'm within the 2 minutes, unfortunately. So let me see if I can cancel that alert. Be just my luck. There is that, like I said, 2-minute notification timer. So I have to wait for that. Oh, I can do a test trigger. That's another thing. This button on the back, you can see that red. So that's supposed to send a test notification to the base station. What happens when that happens? Your base station will go off. It makes a very loud, distinct chime. You're going to hear this anywhere in your house. Does it for about 5 or 6 seconds, so you know that your mail has arrived. I've got a trigger alert here already on the app, so it's within that period. So again, so there we go. So that's how it's supposed to work when everything's working. Now I hear somebody upstairs going, "What is that? Is there somebody at a door?" This will continue to stay blinking. Their base station will stay blinking, and that's specifically so you know that if you maybe missed the alert, that you know you've got mail. So put this somewhere near your front door, as long as it's within 2,000 feet of your mailbox. That's the maximum range on it. Now, if you want to clear it, there's this button on the side. You hit that, and there you go. Now it's back to blue. So the next time that this thing has triggered, it'll set that off again. So that's how you have that continuous notification there. I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to show you guys a video that I took that shows how I set this up on my mailbox. It is dead super simple. So let's go ahead and get that video queued up, and then I will be down here in the corner narrating for you guys. So this is my mailbox. Mailbox theft has been a huge issue in my area, so having this is going to be really valuable. I tell you, not more than 10 minutes after I got done shooting this video, my mailman showed up and he actually set it off, which was awesome. So I go ahead and put the sticky tape here. There is an up indicator. The app walks you through how to do all of this while you're setting it up. So you just want to make sure the up indicator will face up when it's installed. So that's how you do that. So I go ahead and put that in there, flip it upward, and make sure I've got some good clearance there, which I do in this one. And then I can go ahead and put my sensor on there, and it just slides sideways to lock in. So I go ahead and lock that in there. And then go back to your house. You're all done. Now, this will show blue when everything's normal. Doesn't make any noise. It's very subtle. I like that. Now, my mailman did show up, like I said, about 10 minutes after I got it installed, threw the mail in, and kept on moving. And that's all it took. That was enough to set it off there. And so now, I'll show you what it looks like on the base unit here. So now it'll have that red X flashing. So that red X tells you, and the audio tone will tell you. Now, if you're somebody that is visually impaired, you have the audio. If you're somebody that's deaf or hard of hearing, you have the visual. So you get two indications on this, and you get an app notification on your phone. In that case, I had two app notifications that said that my mailbox was triggered, which is awesome. So that is from our friends over at XSense. They sent that out for a fair and honest review. I want to thank them. This is going to be invaluable for me. I can also see so many other ways to use this. Now, I don't know how many base stations we can connect the XSense modules to if you need one-to-one, but like I said, I could see using this on gates and other areas where I needed to know if it was been opened or tampered with. So that would be really cool. And that's from the XSense company. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the Amazon page for that just to see. Like I said, this thing is brand new, and look at the pricing. Unbelievable. It is the #1 new release in wall-mounted mailboxes, if that tells you anything. It is $39.99 with a 20% off coupon. The price of this technology has come down so much. So again, app control. There is no app subscription fee that I've seen. This is going to work across your local Wi-Fi, but it's going to work anywhere on the planet if you're wanting to get a notification that your mailbox has been opened or whatever door or device you connect this to. It works with a million different kinds of mailboxes. Let me show you that real quick. So all of these different kind of mailboxes it works with, it has a little adjuster on the side, and they have different configuration. So you just tell it what kind of mailbox you have, and it will adjust whatever it needs. And there you go. Now you get real-time notification. It'll even do the special iPhone critical notification. So you can break through a do not disturb or a focus if you want to have that critical notification. You don't have to, but you can set it up that way. If it's at night, I'm actually kind of interested to see if this thing goes off at night, because that means somebody's prowling my mailbox. And so that is from the XSense company. Very interesting product. Let me know in the chat if you're going to pick one of those up. And if you do, I'm going to ring the bell for you up here, because that is our purchase bell. If somebody does purchase something live, and I will check on Amazon here one more time, but if somebody purchases something live on Amazon, I will hit that bell for you and it'll be on. But I'm going to put this away for now, and we're going to move on to our next product, which is also pretty slick. And if you have any questions about this, let me know. There we go. And I was going to ask about the sound, Jonathan said, and it went right off. So that was just perfect timing. So awesome, Jonathan. Okie dokie. Let me make sure I've got the next product up. It's right behind me. This is from Soon Global. Now, this is an interesting product. They sent this out. I have a studio in here where I do a lot of recording. I'm still trying to exactly plan where I want to use this. This is a very interesting product. It is a acoustic panel set. So think YouTubers, we're always into our acoustic treatments here. But it's 48 inches by 32 inches. So a little over, about exactly 4 feet, sorry, by just under 3 feet. And here is the set. I'm going to go ahead and pull it in the top down so you can see it. So there's their acoustic panels. I want you to be able to see the whole thing. I'm going to bring this out. If you put them together, they make a very interesting design. So you can align them up. We're going to have to figure this out. I can see already this is going to be a challenge here. There are 8 panels in total. And I'm going to get these all the way out, and we're going to see if we can get a full demo. Okay. You know what? I think I got that panel set, right? Right. Okay. And I think this one, does that go here? Yep. That's the bottom side. Okay, so that's the bottom side of this photo. Let me get this out of your way. And then I'm going to show you guys what this looks like. Now, why do you need acoustic treatment? I can tell you, as somebody that records a lot, stray sound is never a good thing when you're trying to record. If you want to use this at a church, if you want to use this in a meditation room, I think that's the other side there. Now, these panels are not just simple cardboard or something like that. We'll go pull up the science behind them here. And I actually have an audio engineer friend that I was going to talk to about this and have him help me test them out fully. Did I get that right? You know what? Does that look right? Or did I put that panel in the wrong spot? That one comes through continuously. Oh, there we go. I think I got that right, except that color. You notice that? I have that in the wrong spot somewhere, don't I? Let's see here. That one definitely connects. This one definitely connects. You know what? There is one set over. Did I do this right? There? No. Did I have that right originally? No. Yeah, that's got to be right on that one. I just want to make sure I do this demo properly for them. And that is right there. You know what it is? I think it's that gap right there that's messing with me. Oh, there it is. I did have one panel out of order. Sorry. Wanted to make sure I got this exactly right for him. Perfect. So this is the image. Now, this is not the only image that you can do. You can do a ton of different images. I want to show you like what this looks like. I'm also going to try to bring it up here on my little GoPro because this thing usually does really cool for products close up like this. There we go. Okay. So this is what the panels will look like. Now you can install these on a wall. You can install them on a ceiling if you had to, but there are many, many different patterns, which is the exciting thing here. They have a noise coefficient, I believe is what it is, an NRC rating of 0.95, which is really good on the noise absorption reflection canceling here. So very slick system. Let's take a look at the side of them so you can see. They're very light. Now, they do come with a sticker sheet here of dots. You get 50 little dots to help attach them. I would recommend getting the pattern right first, as I finally did over here before attaching the dots, kind of planning out where you're going to go. I'm going to bring you over to their Amazon listing because I really want to show you some of the use cases that they have. And I also want to show you some of the other neat designs that they have. So we're going to go back over here and I'm going to take you to the PC. And this is from Soon Global. Now, if you want to see the other ones, just look up Soon Global and look up the acoustic panels. There are also some other ones. So this one is the Ethereal Illumination. I love the blue on that one. I could see this really working, like I said, kind of I could see this in maybe like a meditation room, like I said, maybe a counseling office if you have something like that. But the neat thing about this is going to cut down on the actual sound. So instead of a sound machine, which produces more sound, this is going to help absorb and cut down on the reflected sound that you have in a room. There's some darker blue, some more abstract. They have a city scene here, which I thought was great. They're calling this one Urban Pulse. I'm going to zoom that up so you can see it. Very affordable here at $59. If you start shopping around in these panels, you'll see that the price of soundproofing is not cheap on here. I want to double check on here. Home theater was another use case that they gave. Now, this is flame resistant polyester fiber. So if you've seen a lot of those YouTubers, which have and I did it myself in my original studio, those acoustic panels that are just foam, those are a huge fire hazard. So that's not what you want to do. If you want to do something really neat, I would recommend this. Now, before I had my digital sign over here, I can show you what I was using. I was using this Art Deco sign. It's not even the same price, and not even the same size, and I think I paid more for it. And it was just something to fill space and cover up that blank area. But if I had something like this, or even that urban cityscape, that would look really, really slick in my studio background. So something neat. And like I said, they have several different versions of this, and this will definitely help to cut down reflected sound in your home or office or business. So I want to thank them for sending this out. Like I said, take a look at Soon Global, and I'm going to go install these somewhere around here. I have a couple places. I got to get the approval of the warden, my wife, about where I put these exactly. And you can see that's how small they are when they're compressed. Now, are they reusable? That I don't know. I think you'd have to get more of these dots, which are not impossible, but I definitely would plan out where you're going to put them. So thanks, Soon Global, for sending that out. I'm going to bring us back here, and we will get the next product up on the show. This is one I'm super proud of. I already put this on Twitter. So if you're here and you've been waiting patiently, without further ado, I'm going to bring out the next product, because I've been using this and I've been texting my friends. Well, you know, I'm excited about something when I text my friends that I just got this thing working, and it's so cool. So this is from Lavier. And I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Lavier, this is their smart screen. So what does that look like? Well, you can see it right here. I have a 2013 Ford Explorer. So, you know, very nice, you know, family wagon, 6 seats, twin turbo. It's a great car. It has Microsoft Sync. It doesn't have the Apple CarPlay that I've wanted. I've always wanted to have CarPlay in that car. So this unit right here is CarPlay and so much more. I'm not going to necessarily do an unboxing because I've already had to take it apart and do some installation. I am going to show you a little bit about my install, but I'm going to show you some of the other ways that you can install it, which are stored here in the box while we're doing this live. Now, one of them is just a suction mount. This can mount to a flat surface on your dash, or this can mount on a window. I'm actually going to use this to hold it upright while we do our demo today. So go ahead and you just push it in on the back here. And the really eagle-eyed among you have already seen the special feature that this thing has. I'm not going to be able to hide it, but this has an amazing feature, which I was super excited about. Okay, so I've got that attached there. That's one attachment technique. Now, the other one is one that I'm already using. You see the base here? This is actually in my car. I have a flat area, but I needed to glue it down. So I used the glue mount on that one. Now, as you come in here, you're going to see this common tool. If we've seen my dash cam videos, this is actually a trim tool, a molding tool to help you run the cables where you're going to do it. This is a rear dash cam input. It also has the electrical connector for your rear lights, so it'll automatically switch over just like a fancy car would. And there's your rear dash cam. Guess what? There's a 4K dash cam on the back side of the main display unit, which is pretty amazing. You're going to have an audio cable. In the worst case scenario, if you have to plug this into an aux input, you can do that. Now, there's a bunch of these little plastic clips. If you want to just mount it directly to something flat, you can use these little plastic clips. There's a manual in here, but to be honest, I was able to do all the setup and install without using the manual at all. So it is that easy. If you have an iPhone or an Android, it uses all of the defaults here. There's an additional glue down mat. So if you decide to change your mind or you need to move it, you have that. Let me fire this thing up. Now, what you don't see is the car charger and power adapter for this. And there's a reason for that, which is it's actually out in my car. So I did not pull that through, and I'm going to show you why, because I went through and did a blind install on this so that nobody's going to see the cables. I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looked like. And then I'm going to show you some examples of this thing in use in my car. So bear with me here. We're going to get that video fired up, and I'll show you that. So this is the 9-inch CarPlay Auto touchscreen. That's what it looks like. When I pulled it out the first time, it was boxed much better than it is now. There's all the pieces individually wrapped here. And I said, you know what? I got to go out and set this up in the car. So I found the perfect spot, and then I went and turned it on. Now I did peel off the screen cover here. It has AirPlay, CarPlay, and everything else. This is how I ran the cable. I take the A-pillar molding off, it's called. All these moldings, they pop off. And this one, in my case, there was only 2 screws. I run the cable down behind my glove box and into the power. And then I run it around the molding using that molding tool. And now I have something that looks professionally installed here in a second. You're going to see it. Now, is it a little bit high? In the pictures, it's going to look like it's mounted high. You do need that so that the rear dash cam can work, but actually, with my height, it's not bad at all. So there's my height and what I'm seeing. So it's not covering up any of my view, but I get now a 9-inch version of Waze app for navigation, your podcast apps, your SoundCloud, everything else. This is the dash cam, and the quality of the 4K dash cam is H265 encoding. So this thing is jammed packed full of tech. Now, I went through Seattle yesterday and I got all sorts of lost and turned around down there. And this thing was a godsend for me to get out of there in Ballard because it can track all of that. And then this is me listening to a podcast earlier today while driving around. Now, at night, it has a night vision on the dash cam. So it's going to see really, really well. I was surprised at the night, and the navigation automatically switches over to night mode, which is pretty slick. So the best thing, I haven't even told you the price on this thing because it's amazing for what you get. So, there's an accident up ahead. You can mark accidents. You can do all that stuff. So it's using all the standard apps. This is the night vision mode. If you look outside, you can see how dark it is around the screen. It also automatically dims the brightness down while you're driving. That was something I was worried about. Was this thing going to be glaring and bright and all that? It actually automatically reduces its brightness. Now, I'm going to go ahead and plug it in here and let you guys see it right away. Vincent says, I can tell you did this right after it snowed here. Yes, I did take some footage earlier today. I was off today. I got my morning meetings done, and my boss said, you've got too many hours. Get out of here. So, yeah, I was doing a little bit of filming, and I want to make sure I got the right cord. This is not the cord that normally comes with it. I'm just using a cord here. Jonathan Talks Hardware checks in, says, my mom is a big Waze user too. She don't like Google and Apple Maps, neither do I. But let me go ahead and plug this into the USB-C. Let's go ahead and look at the top down. Now, you don't have to keep reconnecting and disconnecting this thing, but I am going to show you the connections on here. So you've got your rear dash cam for your AV input. You're going to have your auxiliary audio out. You have a 64 gig micro SD automatically that comes with it. And so that's enough for several hours of footage. And then you have this Type-C power port. That looks like all the main ones. It's firing right up. You can see how bright that screen is. And it gets brighter. So I might have to turn this down for the demonstration. Yep, I am going to have to turn that down so I can use this controls. It is a touch screen. I'm going to turn auto off. So that's the left side. And then I'm going to turn it down. And you know what? It instantly automatically connected to my phone. So there you go. So it automatically went there. I need to go back out to the home application so I can set the brightness down so that you guys can see this better. But this will work inside of your car, your boat, your RV. Let's go back out to the DVR here. So that's what it's seeing right now. But we talked about that I was driving around earlier. Let's see how well I was driving. So I can go to my normal footage here, and I can play back. They're driving, and it has a speaker built in. So that's actually me reviewing the footage of my dash cam here. Now I can trash the file if I want. I can lock the file, or I can download from the SD card, which is pretty cool. There is also an app for this device, so you can connect to it directly. There is Bluetooth audio output right there, but it also has some other audio output I want to talk to you guys about. So if your phone is connected with Bluetooth to your car, it automatically plays through your car speakers. So you don't have to listen to it through just the device, which is really slick. You can have the auxiliary input cable going to your stereo if you want a direct connection, no Bluetooth. You can have the loudspeaker that's built into it. But one thing I tried, and it actually worked pretty brilliantly, if you have none of those options, your car is that old, it has an FM modulator inside of it. So it's got an FM transceiver built into it, which is amazing. So I'm going to go back out to the home screen. I'm just going to show you a couple other things we have. So we've got AirPlay, Android Cast. Let's say you want to play a video that's on here. You can go to playback, and you can actually play back other content. I'm actually going to do AirPlay here. So it says my CarPlay is connected from my phone. So that happens automatically. Let me see really quick here if I can set this down in a way that it's going to stay. So I can run my phone and you guys can see this at the same time. Give me 1 second here. I want to make sure that I give the best demo possible We'll edit all of this out. We're all friends. When my editor does the final video for this, we'll get all this cleaned up. But I want to make sure I show you guys here. Okay, so that's the screen. So now I can take my phone and I can go ahead and turn the CarPlay off. I'm going to turn CarPlay off on this one real quick. CarPlay. And I'm going to remove CarPlay. Okay, so hopefully I can go to AirPlay. So now what is AirPlay? Well, AirPlay will allow me to take any content that's not licensed or doesn't have a restriction. So I'm just bringing up my YouTube here. Maybe if I see any content that looks interesting. I can't show that one, sadly. Jay's 2 cents is going through a lot if you guys are not familiar with his channel here. But I'm going to go, so Vince. Give me 1 second. I'm going to see if I can get one of Vince's videos on here. Okay, yes, his Doom video. He did a video on Doom. So let's say I'm watching on my phone. The screen's not big enough. I can actually go here to cast. And if I'm connected to the device, you have to be connected on Wi-Fi. The neat thing about this is the Wi-Fi that you connect to built into this unit. It'll come up here in just a second. I'm going through my different Wi-Fi access points. So I need to go through the other one. So now I'm going to connect to it via Wi-Fi. It's going to notice that I've connected to it. And then I'll be able to do, it's connected to that one. Now, if I go here and I do AirPlay and Bluetooth devices, DY link shows up. I click the DY link. I come back out here. Now it's going to complain because I'm on my cellular connection, which is horrible inside the studio here. Let's see if we can get this thing working. But essentially, you can play back your content over AirPlay. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one more time. Want to turn that back on. Oh, is it not going to do it? It may, because I'm in my house, it may be switching back. I'm on my LTE. Let me see if I can pull up one of my other examples here and if I can stream that directly. Okay. So you should be able to stream directly to the device via AirPlay if everything's working right. And this may be just me today. I was going to try to. There we go. Now I've got a mix of different audio here. I've got my picture there. So you can see it's actually AirPlaying right from my phone wirelessly to this device. So if you've got kids, what a great idea that you can AirPlay your Netflix movie or anything else that's not copyrighted. And you can do that. So YouTube videos, other things like that. That's a super cool use case for this thing. Like I said, so that mounts inside your car like it is in this photo here. It hardwires in. I have not put the rear dash cam, but I'm super excited about that. So you're getting a dash cam, a CarPlay receiver, an AirPlay video device, a 9-inch touchscreen, Bluetooth audio interface. You're getting all of this stuff in the same product. Let's go over here and check on Amazon before we get too picture in a picture-y, and I'll tell you about the price on this thing. Unbelievably, this thing is $159. Now, you can spend $60 or $70 on just a CarPlay wireless module for an existing car. They've somehow done this, and then there's a $20 coupon right now, which gets it down to $139. This is a no-brainer if you've got a car like my truck. I've got an older F350. It has a CarPlay aftermarket radio, which costs 3 or 4 times this, and it's only a 6-inch screen. So in my truck, where we travel long distances, cross country, instead of trying to look at a 6-inch screen, I can kick that thing over to Bluetooth. I can mount this up on the dash, and now I have a dash cam, a CarPlay, and an Android Auto receiver all in one. So very happy with this. The color saturation is a bit heavy on it. I'll tell you that, from a display perspective, for $139, you're getting a lot here. But with most of your CarPlay apps, you're not going to notice. It's not like super detailed. I did notice it was a little heavy on the saturation. I was trying to change that. And the brightness in full daylight, this thing works really well. So there you go. Depending on how you can mount it, maybe you mount it to your vents there, maybe you mount it to your dash and you hang it over like they're doing in here. In my Explorer, I needed access to the climate control still, so that's why I mounted it up pretty high. But if you look at a new Tesla and a lot of these other cars, they're mounting these higher and higher. And I actually like the fact that it's mounted that high. in my Explorer, because now I can see it and I can glance back at the road and I'm not moving my head all the way up and down and having to recenter. There's just a small list of the apps that you get. If you have a teenager, this is something I would highly recommend all parents, somebody that's just starting out driving. If you have the parental restrictions on the phone, you can force them to use the voice to text feature and not text and drive. That's a super important safety thing. That's the message icon that you see there. Waze is one of my favorite free navigation apps. There's a bunch of other ones in there. So this is from Lavier. Lavier is, I believe, the company name, but 5 stars on 4 ratings. This is a brand new product, and I don't know if it's going to last long at this price overall, because it's just a fantastic little unit. Very, very happy. And I will be installing the rear view camera on my Explorer here soon. It does have a rear view, but it doesn't have a dash cam built in. So this is kind of like a Tesla upgrade, if you will, for me, because it's going to give my old 2013 Ford Explorer a lot of the new car features. So I want to thank them for sending this out for a fair and honest review. Very happy with that product. So if you are a gamer or a streamer, the next product is going to be something you're going to want to check out. I have had their products on the show before, but they recently reached out because they have, give me 1 second, I got to move some of these here because this next one I'm going to have to sit down to use. This is from the Fifine company. This is the AM8T combination kit. What is that? Well, it is a streaming microphone and a desk mount. So you're going to have this metal standard desk mount. It's the same kind of mounts that I use for my GoPros and other devices. You know, fairly functional, not going to break the bank. That's the other nice thing about this, is this gets you into the game and you're not spending a ton of money to get there. We're going to test out and see how it sounds. There's a really interesting thing about this product specifically. Let me get this over the right screen. It has USB-C, which is going to be great. It does have, I believe, if I remember right, a zero latency monitoring headphone jack. But the biggest thing for me, it has an XLR connection as well. So not only do you have the USB-C, you have XLR. What is XLR? That's what all the pros use. So an XLR interface, you know, I set all this stuff out so that I could show you as we do the show. And of course, I misplace it. So this is what professional musicians and audiophiles use. This is from Behringer. This is one of mine. I use this when I'm recording studio audio for voiceovers and stuff. And so this is where you can plug in your guitar or other instruments and you can adjust the gain. Now, if you have a soundboard, like I do over there, I've got a small soundboard. That's going to have inputs for, 7, 8, 10, 15 channels of audio. This will let you work from USB-C if you need to, if you're on the go, or maybe you're just starting out. And then when you do get a soundboard for that better production value, you can keep the same microphone, which is pretty cool. Does look like it's got RGB. It's a dynamic microphone, so you're going to want to get right up and close to this one versus a condenser. If it's dynamic, it should not need any phantom power, but let's take a look on the inside in here. And this is the first time unboxing live with you, so we're going to see what we get together. So there is the ARM user's guide. These things are super simple to set up, so hopefully that's what it is. It does have some instructions when it comes to the microphone gain and the dynamic RGB settings, headphone and volume control. Jonathan's checking in, says, I have a Fifine. Not that exact one. Oh, I love it. Vincent, you're getting me in trouble. He says, why, yes, I want to take Zoom calls in the car. I love it. That would be great. Yeah, I might have taken Zoom calls in the car or two. So there you go. So there's the XLR port in the information. It's talking about how to use it. About 2 to 6 inches, it's saying away. Get right up on those dynamic microphones if you want that proximity effect that you can get from dynamic microphones. Looks like it does work with a PS5 and PS4 desktop or laptop, it's looking like, with the connector it's saying here. And I just wanted to double check. It's got a dedicated RGB button, so you don't have to have that on. Some of these have noise cancellation, so I just wanted to double check and see if it had noise cancellation. It has instructions for how to set this up for a Mac using recording software like Audacity, which is pretty slick, and it's basically giving you all that information. Frequency response range is 50 hertz to 16 kilohertz, and it has a cardioid pickup pattern. If you know, you know what that is. So I won't go into the discussion about what that is, but that's some specs on the mic. Let's go ahead and take it out here and we'll see what we've got to work with. Looks like they sent me the white edition. Okay, this is kind of cool. I did not even know they made a white version. That's really slick. You know, what's funny? My daughter has already been eyeballing to steal this thing for her all white gaming setup. I'm not going to have a chance now. This thing's pretty much gone. So it's got adjustable knobs on the side, it looks like. Some, very basic Fifine branding on the side here. It's going to have an indicator for on the back. I like that. There's the RGB ring. Like I said, it does have a zero latency headphone jack, a USB-C, and that all important XLR jack. So even if you don't have an XLR cable and a soundboard yet, it's kind of neat to buy something that will sound good in the future as well. Like I said, this looks like a very standard microphone arm. That looks good. I'm going to get that out here in just a second. I want to see the length of this cable. I'm hoping that we're at least 10 feet. And the reason is, oh, you know what? We are. I think we're close. We're probably close to 8 feet. So there's a full 6. And it gets back almost here. That's 9 feet. So 9-foot cable on this. It is a USB-C cable on one end, and then it's going to be the USB-A on the other. I'm actually going to plug this thing in, believe it or not, into the Show laptop here. And we're going to try to test the audio from the Show laptop here in just a second. There's the desk clamp. Now you can clamp this one of two ways. You can clamp it on the far side of my desk in this case, or I can clamp it on the front side. And we're going to do a front side test here first. So very easy to set up for anybody. I did send the last Fifine, I believe, that I had. I sent that off to a friend that was just starting out. Because these are great. This company has a wide range of products. They make a lot of microphones. This one looks to be, because of the multiple input types, the RGB, one of the newer ones. They also did send me one more of these because they've got some stuff coming out I can't really talk about just yet. So we're going to be working on a couple different things in the future here. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up in the way that I would think I would talk into it. I'm trying to get everything to play together. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'll go ahead and put that here. I'm going to twist this so that you guys can see the back side of it. And then I said, I'm going to sit down like I was actually podcasting or something here. I did not grab an XLR cable, but the audio quality should be the same, if not better, when you switch over to the XLR. Now, we're just going to take a quick look at some of these settings once I get this thing turned on. The connection for the USB Type-C is on the bottom. So when I plug that in, what I'm looking for is Windows to all of a sudden see this microphone. It's already scrolling through the colors, so hopefully you guys can see that already. And actually, I haven't tried this camera out yet. So let's do... Okay, got another camera here in the studio to try out. So there's another angle. I'm going to move the GoPro off a little bit. RGB makes it go faster, Vince says. I don't know if I would say go faster, but it definitely makes it look good. So this is what I was worried about. So where they have the RGB, you can't necessarily go past. Now, I need to double check on this if it is an end address microphone, which is what it looks like. Now, be super careful. When you see this, make sure you look at how microphones are done. If somebody goes on here and they start talking off to the side and it's an end address microphone, it's actually meant to be this way, it's going to sound completely different. And they may even send this thing back or say that it doesn't work when in fact it was really just not set right. So I want to make sure that to see if this is an end address microphone or not. And we're looking here. It is definitely an end address. So let's go ahead and show you that on this camera. So you see how the person in there is talking to the end of it? That's what you would normally get in an end address microphone. I'm going to go ahead and change my audio input on this laptop so that we can listen to it. And it automatically switched to the Fifine microphone. So we're in good shape there. I'm going to go ahead and turn the audio on. Now, I may need to set the audio levels. I'll warn you in advance. And I need to set this one off if everything's working right here. Okay, hopefully, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and pause. Okay, not sure if I got any audio through that time, but can't hear you is what I'm seeing. So that is the audio for that. That is the headphone gain, microphone gain. Oh, I am able to change the RGB here, so we're doing that. Okay, and then I think I did turn it into cycling mode, or did I? So tapping it has the different RGB cycles. And we're still listening to me on my side. Haven't gone through that. Let me go into my microphone settings here. I need to set. This is unfortunately what you get when you're doing live demonstration with any tool. We're going to go into my audio settings, control panels, volume settings, speakers, mono input, microphone. Okay. I do see microphone volume coming through. Now you guys. Okay, now you should hear me. This should be out of the device. You should be hearing my audio on the microphone. Audio on the microphone. Let's see if it sounds as good as it looks. Going into my audio settings, noise suppression, noise cancellation. It does look a little bit low. I'm actually going to turn off. That's unfortunate because that's what we run into occasionally here. So it said no volume on there when I should. Can't hear you. Oh no. Okay, I'm going to try one more time here to bring this computer back in, and let's see if I get this audio. Okay, let me check and see if it has a mute feature. I want to double check that. And we're going to go back out to sound. Yeah, I'm seeing the audio here. And you can do real time. Want to double check that there is not a mute on here. And just looking through. Okay, well, I'm going to have to mix in or bring back on the next one an audio test of this one. But overall, fit and finish looks good on this one. Let me know what you think of the style of this one overall. It's not bad. I'm going to go ahead and close this one out so you don't have to be looking at it. So there it is. So what do you think about the style of this? Now, this is one way that you can have it angled. So you could have a low arm and you could be talking into it, something like this, looking into your audience there on your camera. You could also have this thing, a lot of people do this, coming on from down high or on the side. You know, you could be talking into it like this and just have like a general conversation going. That's another great looking one. So, yeah, you know, it's definitely uniqueness. Oh, you know what? I muted by touching the outside of it. That's what was going on. Now we know where the mute is. Mute is a soft mute. Now let's try this again because now that I know what I've done, let's get this thing working right. Okay. Let's bring myself back in. plug myself back in. Okay. Now, let's see. It's still talking. Let's see what the audio is. Default is Fifine microphone. And actually, it finally does look like it actually has volume. So let me know if that sounds good. Peter picked, let's see if I can do this right. Peter picked a patch of pickled peppers. Peter picked a patch of pickled peppers. I'm looking for plosives. So plosives are when you get that popping sound. I'm going to look and see because this cover is removable. Just looking at the microphone itself. So it's got a grid. It's a non-standard cover, so be really, really careful with that. Now, what you can do when you have a dynamic microphone is you can get really up close to it, and it gives you like this super richness to your voice. So if you're reading that ASMR bedtime story, this is where you might want to use a dynamic microphone. If I stand back a little bit, now I've got automatic gain control on, so it's raising the gain. I can put it in the middle here, so hopefully that sounds a little bit better. So then he says, okay, talk closer. Randy's telling me I need to talk closer on this one. Now the lips aren't going to match the audio. This is an audio test. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to talk quietly into it, very quietly. More gain needed. Okay, so we're getting a little bit more gain in there, a little bit more gain. So this is a standard amount of gain here. Hopefully this should be good. So that was from our folks over at Fifine. This is their AM8T from their Ampligame series, it looks like. So there's the unit I'm testing out right now. It is an end address microphone with RGB, a soft mute button. So that's what got me a second ago. I should have known that, but here's what I was going to show you. So that mute on the bottom, I wish the indicator was a little more visible, guys. Like maybe the RGB should have changed to bright red or blinking red or something, because when it didn't, I didn't notice that I had muted myself, which is kind of a faux pas there. But let me show you where that mute is right there. So that green, if I tap it, it mutes. Now, one of the things I superbly hate is a clickable mute button. So when I touch this, let me know if that has a click, like an audible click, because if it's a touch one, that's what we've been going for. So very cool. So that was from Fifine. I got to switch back over. I'm going to switch back over to now I'm back on my normal headset. Pretty slick little setup here. Not bad. Let's take a look on Amazon. I want to see what this thing's going for. I honestly have not looked at the price of this unit. And actually now I'm pleasantly surprised on this one. So this is an XLR and a USB dynamic microphone. Looks like it comes in several different colors. The black might look good if the armature is going to continue to be black. If they had a white armature, now this is the one that most of the ladies might like, the pink, because you never see good pink microphones. And that's the one that they sent out, was the white. So I didn't get to choose on this one, but man, what a great color. And I guess in that combination, it looks good. The gray is a little bit more gray than it's shown here on the cover. But having a microphone that's able to do an XLR input is going to give you a path to upgrade, which is awesome here. So I like that a lot. The desk arm could be upgraded. This is the AM8 microphone. The T, I believe, means that it has the arm kit here. So they are going to have, looks like they've sent me an AM8 also to test out individually. So that'll be pretty cool. Very excited about that. And I want to thank them for sending this out for a fair and honest review. I'm naturally like trying to move towards the microphone because I did a lot of recording before, and you learn good microphone etiquette when you're doing that. I'm going to go ahead and unplug this, and we will get back to the remainder of the show, which I believe is not going to take too much longer because we've got a couple products here, but they're a lot more simple to demo. I saved the easy stuff for last here. Now, could you travel with this microphone? That might be a little bit harder. The size on this one and the kit is probably not designed for that. The nice thing is it does come with this standard thread here on the end. So I believe that's 5/8 thread. So it's going to have the standard microphone base, and then that knocks it down to the 3/8 here. And then you can even get 1/4 inch mounts for other things. So you could definitely do that. I'm going to go ahead and flip this over. And we're going to put all of this back here so that we can get our next product out. But it's funny is it's going to be a mystery to me until I go back to see the footage to see when I hit the mute button on that. But it's also a mystery of how it sounds because I don't have local in-ear monitoring. Now I could do that. That's one of the advantages of this is it has that zero latency monitoring port that you can use. I recommend that highly if you're just getting used to talking into a microphone and you need to get that feedback to yourself to understand how you sound. So you'll learn a lot about microphone etiquette just by hearing yourself over and over. There we go. We'll put this all back in and we'll be ready to go on to the next product. So thank you guys for tuning in. We got 4 products left. It's a little bit later than normal show. Sorry about that. But it is tax season. So if you're doing your taxes right now, what better item to have than Amazon's #1 selling shredder? I needed to get a new shredder and I was looking around. We have a lot of personal information and I don't want my personal information falling into the wrong hands, whether it's social security number, medical records, anything legal that you may or may not have been dealing with. You don't want that to get out. So this is from Amazon. This is their Amazon Basics, which is actually the #1 best selling. I'm going to go ahead and get you over here so you can see this. This is what comes in. You got just a simple instruction guide here, some packing material. This is the main shredder part, and wow, is that heavy. And then this is the catch basin. Now, what's interesting is once you shred things, you have to check with your utility. It may or may not be able to be recycled. So if you're in an area that requires recycling, you may have to check in on that. And some places have free shred day and whatnot, but it's nice to have your own shredder. And that's what we really wanted to do, was to be able to do this. So now this shredder's got some neat features I want to talk through, and part of the reason why I picked it. It is going to do up to a maximum of 8 20-pound sheets. So what does that mean? Well, 20-pound paper is the rating of the paper here. Now it fits in just like that. Okay. Hey, guess what? We were doing a lot of testing today with things that have to plug in, right? I just happen to have this brand new plug on my show desk, which I can plug in here. And we can test it out. Okay, so simple to operate controls. That's what I wanted. Something that my wife can use. Now you're going to have a reverse feed, which goes that way. You're going to have a stop. You're going to have an automatic mode and then a forward. Now you can hear it running, hopefully. Now it's going to clear itself out. Now I just happened to save for you some fun stuff. Now I can't get too close up on this because there is some stuff that has personal information on it. But I did save a bunch of paperwork. And I did save one that I can show you, which was actually a floor plan or a layout of a business that I had done some work at, some networking work. So we're going to have it on automatic mode. We're going to go ahead and run this through here. Now it's saying, don't put a tie in here. Don't put spray paint, no people, danger, static, read the instructions. So it's telling you all about that. There's the maximum 8 sheet indicator. But let's go ahead and slide this in. And then it's going to clear itself out. Now that is a crosscut shredder. So let's talk about what crosscut is. So actually it's not fully crosscut, but it's going to go ahead and tear it up. You can see how it's got straight cuts, but they're not complete strips. So it is going to do some of that cross cutting, but it looks like it does it every about, 1.5 inches or so. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit more shredding in here. I saw this, I went upstairs and I found something that actually had a social security number. I said, no, I can't have that. So I grabbed that and I'm going to go ahead and shred it. So definitely is working as expected, but there is another feature I want to show you on this thing, which is that can actually do credit cards. Now, I have never done this, but I just happen to have a Dairy Queen card with 64 cents on it. So I'm going to take this thing because it has no numbers, no personal identifiable information. I'm going to run it down the credit card slot. Now, you have to run this by itself. There is no running multiple cards, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. That card is gone. So if you have some old cards that maybe have your signature and a card number on it and you need to dispose of them, This is another one. This is an old gift card, no numbers on it again. So I can go ahead and use the top down for this and show you guys what that looks like. Literally just grinds it up and it's away now. Mag strip and all. There's literally plastic. So now that there's plastic in these shavings, we can't recycle them even if you could, because there's plastic in there. But definitely did not have a problem handling that. Let me check one more thing here. So this is about the maximum of 8 sheets. So I'm going to run the maximum through and see if it struggles. Oh, there it goes. It stopped. Now I can go force it forward. There we go. And it stopped again. I'm going to go ahead and reset it. So this one, if I were to guess, this is close to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 sheets in here. It didn't do that. So this is rated for 8. So it did the ones that it was supposed to. And I just cleared it out. So it was able to clear out. So yes, it will handle that in a pinch if you have to. Last one here. Now, if you do have staples, make sure to take the staples out. What I like to do is just peel the corner off of something if it has a staple, because you don't want to chew up the staples on here. That'll hurt it. And there we go. So we are complete. We are just like Enron. We have done some shredding, but I have a whole box. I can tell one of my kids is going to be working on this for quite some time this evening. We'll go back over here and does a look. Randy says, mine does CDs and DVDs, reverse and forward again is another thing. Vincent comes in and says, hey, that one is faster than mine. And you gotta have a reference. Master Shredder. Oh, wait, this isn't TMNT. If you know, you know on that. So the instruction manual that comes with it here, if you know how to use one of these, you're pretty good. Looks like it does do its maximum 8 count. It doesn't do 11 of standard paper, which I just noticed. But, you know, then if you're really careful about that and get close, 6 to 8 sheets, it should have no problem doing that. That's from Amazon. That's their Amazon Basics. I'm going to do a lot more testing of that here as we shred our personal information. Now, if you tune in next week, I actually have a really cool document scanner to show you. So a document scanner in combination with that, get rid of all that paper that you've got. I've got safes and boxes of paper everywhere. We're excited about scanning all those documents and then throwing them through the shredder. So those are going to work in great combination with each other. So Jonathan says that might be good for his mom. There's a lot of products that are good for Jonathan's mom today. I just got lucky. Maybe I picked the right ones. The next product is going to be one that I'm taking to PDX LAN with me, and I'll show you why. So I went looking for different surge strips and power products because I wanted to do a show about those. I also wanted to upgrade my studio. Now I've got a power surge strip over there with 22 ports and 6 USBs. Nobody's going to carry that thing around. This one, I wanted something that was small, portable, that had the different USB styles of charging and plenty of them, as well as room for AC adapters. Seems to be the Achilles heel of all power strips. Now, what's the difference between a power strip and a surge strip? This is providing 900 joules of surge protection. Now, I'm going to show you a product coming up here on the show. It's very, very similar to this, another #1 bestseller on Amazon, but this one is just a power strip. It has no surge protection. So if you're looking for something with surge protection, this is the one you want to look at. And this is in it would be in the carousel, but it's in the description right now. So this is from, this is the 6-foot surge strip with 3 USB-A and 1 USB Type-C. Now it has a total output of 4.2. I'm just looking here and we'll see this has some fairly large holes for mounting. So if you wanted to mount this on a wall, and guess what? A standard drywall screw finally fits in these. They finally learned to make them, because I have tons of drywall screws to be able to mount these, but all of the surge strips were too small. And so this allows you to connect up to 8 devices. So on the top, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fairly large space, and you notice that the switch is off the side. Now this has a reset. Now you'll notice our other ones may not have a reset because they're not a surge protecting strip. So I'm looking forward to taking this, like I said, to Gaming Expo coming up here pretty soon. So just turning it on. Now I notice here when the on and off, there's a very small light. You see that little blue light that says protected. Now I want to double check that all of these ports are doing what they say they're doing. So give me 1 second. I'm just pulling out a simple cord. I'm going to go ahead and plug that in here to one of the USB outlets. So this smart USB is a shared 4.2. This is the show iPhone. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in, and instantly I get a charge indicator on it right now. So it is charging. So that worked. You can combine up to 4 devices at the exact same time. They're just going to be limited to 4.2 amps at 5 volts. So that's the limitation there. I didn't see anything about power delivery, but we'll check the Amazon page for this one. Very small, would definitely fit into a bag. Cord length on this one, like I said, I like to do this, 6 feet. That's my 6-foot wingspan test. So this one is from Power Rui, and that is our 8-outlet surge strip. So now let's talk about that other one I kind of hinted at, and we'll bring that out. This is from Mefaso, not to be confused with Mefasa, but this is Mefaso, and it has this a button there to turn it on and off. It has 6 outlets and 3 USBs. This one is actually more expensive right now, but it does have one thing that the other one does not, which is a 10-foot cord, and it's one of the newer style braided cords that everybody's doing. They're very thin and flat. We're always running out of outlets near our couch. I'm super excited about this one just to give us some USB outlets upstairs. It also has that on off. It has a reset, it looks like. This did not have any surge indication when I looked, so I can't say if it's a surge or not. It just says power strip. And the cord length, let's do that test real quick. On this one is a full 10 feet. So it does have the very low profile connector on the cord. This is really nice if you got to get in behind a couch. You don't want somebody to bump it, knock it out. So that's really good. And it's also offset. So if you have multiple of these, they're hanging off to the side, which is kind of nice. So let's take a look at the cord length here. I'm 6 feet tall. So wingspan is really close to height in this case. This one is not a no tangle cord because it's got a lot of memory from the box. Let's go. Come on. 1. And if I can get back to the center of my chest, that's 9 feet. And if I get a little further, oh, armpit. So that should be about 10 feet. So just shy of 10 feet if it's anything. And we can check that. But this is one of the #1 best sellings from Amazon. Let's go ahead and make sure to measure the cables the exact same. Or did you say, I measure cables the exact same way? Yes, you get in the business. It's like, well, how long is this cable? Oh, it's 12 feet. It's 2 arm lengths. That's the easy way to do it. I love it. Harley's in here, says, I like the angled wall plug so it fits behind furniture. Absolutely. Great idea. And then here we go. When Coffee and Cynicism, first time here that I've seen you. Thanks for joining. When you need a template to screw a power trip to a surface, scanning the back on an MFC works great. MFC, multifunction copier. Oh, that's really cool. I do know one other trick, and I don't have any painter's tape with me. But if you want to do another trick that's along the lines of what you just said there, which is a great idea also, I've taken tape and you run painter's tape here and just push a hole where you want the 2 items and then go ahead and put that against the wall. I showed that on some of my other ones, but that's a great tip. I love the copier trick if you have that. So I love that. Great idea. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the Amazon. I want to show you the page for each one of these. So let's go through here. We're going to look at this one first. So this just says power strip. It didn't mention any sort of surge. It is $22 for this one, but it does have that 10-foot cord, which is, again, a little bit better. There are different versions of this, which you can do. It looks like 2.4 amps max per port with a total of 3.1 on this one. So this is going to be for your low drain devices. But remember that driveway or the mailbox monitor alarm I showed you earlier, instead of using another spot for another AC adapter, you can plug it directly into this. So that would actually be another good situation there. And then the right angle wall mountable plug. So that was that one. Let's go back out here. I'm looking to see that last one. This PowerWii is much, much cheaper. It looks like there is a 10-foot version. So if you want the 10-foot cord, the best of all worlds, this one is $19.99. And this is one of the highest rated ever on Amazon, one of the best selling power strips, surge strips that they have on Amazon. There is one last product here, which is along the lines of all these, but it's a little different. So bring you guys, back over here. We're going to do a quick unbox of this one. Now, this, I'm not going to try to pronounce the company name, but I will tell you the model. It's the HR519. Now, I've had these growing up as a kid where you need more outlets in your kitchen, and that's exactly where I think we're going to use this as in our RV. We need something that can plug in to an outlet and gives us more plugs. Now, if you have your standard duplex outlet, you've got your two items there. This center screw here, when you take the outlet plate off and you plug this in, that center screw will retain it. So if somebody is yanking on this, it will actually hold in there. This gives you 5 outlets, so 1 on the front, 2 on each side, 3 USB ports, and 1 USB Type-C with a 4.8 amp total. I'll show you guys a close-up here of the front of this. So what's neat about that is you've got all of those USBs for your phones, your chargers. You're getting basically 4 phone chargers worth in one, plus an additional 5 outlets. And the profile's not crazy when you consider the fact that it actually has USB charging capability in here. Now, this may not work. Yeah, it's not going to work on my new desk over here. I'll show you guys that. Technically, it lit up, but this is not how it's supposed to be used. It's supposed to be in your standard outlets. Any standard outlet is going to have the same distance between the ground prongs, and that's what they're counting on, and then the standard receptacle. So this is going to fit in there. Now, most of my Decora plugs don't allow me to use this, but this center retention screw is going to hold that. Well, what does that do? This happens to be one of those duplex outlets here. So you got 2 of those. This would be what's in your wall right now. I'll give you guys a little bit closer look. So that would be what's in your wall right now. This comes over and goes right over the front of it, plugs in, and then this screws in. And you'd screw that all the way down. And so if this is your wall right here, now you've actually taken the 2 and turned them into 5 plus 4. So very cool. One thing I love about this one, and I got to go back over here to Amazon to show you, is the price on this. It was on super sale. Let's see here. I believe if you're logged in with Prime, you may even see a better price than this on here. It was $9.98 on Lightning yesterday, but it looks like it's $12 now, which is still a great deal for this device. So I'm very excited of using this in our kitchen. So you could, if you have an electrician, replace the outlet with one. I have several here that have USB built into the outlet, but this gives you something with no skill that you can plug this thing in and start using it right away. Or if you're in an apartment or a place where you don't have access to change the electrical, this gives you a way to split that out. So that is the show today. Let me double check the chat, make sure nobody else was checking in. Randy says additional 3 outlets. There you go. I was waiting for Jonathan to say that's something that my mom could use, because he's saying that all night. Looks exactly like the one I have, though. So he's already there. Your mom's good at shopping there. My TV stand power strip is the same brand. Oh, man. Vince, great eyes. That is a 20 amp duplex. Yes. Now I'm probably, it's already screwed in. That's why it's not coming out. I have the center screw already in here. That was one difference. I'm surprised you caught that. That was really good. So if you look up close, and he caught that on a pass, that has a horizontal plug. Yeah. These are some old commercial ones that I was able to pick up that can run 20 amp plugs. So that's kind of a neat feature there. Great eyes on that one. So that's all the products today. I want to thank you guys all for checking in. As people that have stayed the entire time, thank you so much. I will see you guys next week. Monday is a holiday, so I'm hoping to get a lot of eBay done and some other stuff that I need to get taken care of. Clean the garage out, get ready for more. I've got some other really cool stuff. 10 gigabit hardware. I've got switches from Sedola. I've got PTZ cameras from 3 different manufacturers that have showed up now. So I'm very excited to continue showing you cool stuff. And every week this year, I will have a show. I can't tell you if it's going to be on Friday or Tuesday or Thursday. Just depends on the week. We got a lot going on. But thank you again for all you guys do and for checking in. I will catch you guys all in the next one. Thanks, everybody. See you later.